here's a help with the process. Whenever you're seeing a teacher demonstrate something, okay, until you've trained for a long time, you probably cannot see what the teacher's doing holistically. Meaning, I just look and I see it, right? Most of the time, and especially if the teacher is not somebody you're familiar with, he may be doing something quite different than your usual way. And nothing gets sensei more crazy than having, demonstrating something, than having everybody jump out and do the technique exactly the way they knew how to do it when they came in, and it doesn't have anything to do with what he just showed. Okay? So there's a way to do this. Hopefully the teacher demonstrates several times. Now, if it's Satome Sensei, he may just do it once and go, okay, well, you're hosed then, but prioritize what you're looking at. The single best first thing to do is look at feet. See what the footwork was. Was it Tenkan? Was it a Rimi Tenkan? Did the guy step back? Did the guy step forward? Did he just twist? Did he do a triangle? I mean, the basic footwork. There's only like 4 or 5 things we do in Aikido with the footwork. So figure that out right away, because that's most important. If you get a second repetition, what do you do with the hands? Did the energy hit the shoulders? Did the energy hit the hips? Did it hit the shoulders, then the hips? Is it up? Is it down? Okay? If you get a third repetition, try and look at the relative timing of the two. Did the hands rise on the step and then fall on the turn? So you get a sense. So, like I say, if you're lucky, you'll get 3 or 4 repetitions when the teacher demonstrates. So who can tell me what the footwork is that I just did? Come on, guys. Somebody take the risk. What was the footwork? Because if you can't tell me, how are you sure you're doing what I did? If you can't tell me what the footwork was. So what? A Rimi Tenkan, we'd call it. Okay? With the beginners, we call it step turn. So he's coming in, step, turn. There's a little twist on the end of that to keep him drawing, and then basically I just slide in. Okay? So the basic footwork, step turn. So we have people who are stepping back. We have people who aren't stepping at all, trying to turn it into a static technique. It's not that you can't do that, it's just not what I'm doing. Okay? So you see how important it is. Watch the feet first, then watch the hands, then try and get a sense for the relative timing. So this is rising while I'm turning. And then it's up, and it doesn't go down. I go down as I go in. And only at the very end, when he's totally hosed, does that hand fall. Okay? Give it a try. This will help you anytime you're doing something new. So if he does a Rimi Tenkan, what'd I just do? I broke my body into pieces, just like we were talking about before. So if you don't want to move the feet and he's drawing you out, you're going to tip yourself over. Okay? If I'm going for this and it's moving, I'm moving. Yeah. You notice now this causes a problem. I wouldn't grab that. Because you're doing the technique, remember? So,
okay.
So, what was the piece we've been doing? Okay.
This.
If you're a total beginner at something like this, visualize putting a pie in their face. It's the easiest visual is to take the pie and put it in my face. You just threw the pie on the floor. Okay, you're spazzing out because I'm holding on to you. Relax. I'm not even here. You have a pie in your hand, put it in my face. Duh, there you go. I know you know how to do that. Don't let your brain do a big, weird thing because I'm holding on or I'm the teacher. There it is. The pie in the face is a great way to teach this. Okay, now see that wrist? You let that go now. The pie is definitely going to hit you. Oh, now it's getting stronger again because you're letting this flex and you're keeping the grip. Remember we talked last night? I would not keep your fingers out along their arm because if I change the direction here, you're going to break your fingers. Grab like a sword. See, now if I change direction, your fingers aren't getting hosed. If you put your fingers along here, okay, certain spirals will finger lock you on your own attack. You don't want to do that, okay? Yeah, so when you do the Urimi Tenkan, Urimi, Tenkan, take that foot around behind you. There we go. See what? This poor guy doesn't look like he has any idea what he wants to do, which means this guy, okay, so he's coming in here, same hand grab. Okay? What do I have to worry about? Is this my problem? No, actually, technically, that's my problem. The kicks are my problem. That's my problem. This is not my problem. So, Urimi Tenkan is this is not much of an attack. Remember Last Samurai? Too many minds? Yes. If you're attacking, you're attacking. Sir. If you're not attacking, don't come. There. You know, see what led first on that, though? Oops. Don't want to lead with your nose. Bring your legs in. See there, if I throw this, that hand, that can protect you. You're actually never lunge. Because you don't know if they're really going to go back. I told you to. But what if I didn't? Because I don't have to. I'm the teacher. I get to do what I want. So if I didn't lead you out, don't assume they're going to. Keep your verticality, because when something comes at your face, that's what allows you to kick your feet out and take a back fall. Okay? So you come in as I'm drawing you. Move the feet, move the feet, move the feet, move the feet. Rotate, rotate. Don't let this, see that rigid? Okay? That rigidness means that grab has no function. Flex, there you go. Okay? So now you're keeping connection with my center through this. But when I entered, see that other hand that's dangling back there? I defy you to find another martial art where this hand is back here like a little flag. This is an Aikido thing. And what happened in Aikido is that at some point people started teaching ukemi that made the teacher's stuff work. And all of a sudden Aikido people are doing, I have films of 8th dans doing stuff with students who are punching this way. You find me another martial art where you can get somebody in this position. What is this? When we did this with Sensei, he popped you in the face. Okay? Oh, now I can throw this punch, and if he goes to hit me in the face, I can protect. Duh. I mean, that's a big duh in martial arts. I don't understand how we got to this other place. So when you come in here, you're there, and this doesn't have to even be aggressive, but it's here. It's waiting to see if that line's open for your strike, and if it's not, it's protecting you. Now, I wouldn't put it straight against it. I would parry it. Okay, because it's like actually if you try and block it here, they just go through and you get hit with your own hand. But here, yeah, not even that much. Because that, right now it's pointing that way. If you parry an atemi, don't go this far because then they hit you with the elbow. Take the elbow in. Exactly. I want to go this far. And what I want is that alignment. So if I parry the atemi, boom, boom, that's what I'm looking for. Not going, I don't want that. That's oppositional. You just talk about fixing your do. This thing's only 4 inches wide. To not be hit, I only needed to move here. And notice if I'm here, try and throw the elbow. You can't. It's not open. Because I didn't push the arm. But the moment I push the arm, something else can come in. This is one of the early things I learned in karate. The guy blocks this. You roll around it to a back fist. Or they push it. You roll around it and hit him with the elbow. Bam, bam, you're into, okay? See that? So you can see a theme emerging here. Yes, sir. Stiffness is bad. On both rolls, any tension causes problems. If you're stiff in the arm, you're pushing away from you. You come here, I actually want to stick to it. Okay, because then I have all these openings. Okay? So softening up, keeping your verticality. If you need to move, you use your legs to move. Don't let them take your upper body out from your feet, because then if they suddenly change the direction, your nose is just sitting there. mean, I would love to have you out here. A lot of the stuff that we do is designed to do that. Just don't give it to your partner. Make them work for it. Okay? So if you start doing Irimi Tenkan, drawing me out, I'm going to move my feet. Now, you see how you're pulling me? Instead, let the hands rise. The hip will be going away from me. The hand is extending into me. There. Now drop the elbow. No, you're pulling. You don't believe it. Drop the elbow and push the elbow. See it? See that pull? If I feel the pull, I'll let go and go to your center. Because once it's not coming towards me, why do I need to hold on to it? See? You're actually see, exactly. We should teach people to do this, not hold on because we told him and run around us in a circle. There's no reason for him to hold on if this is going this way. This is going this way. See, and now you can see why he holds on, because he's going to get hit here. When I turn, this is still going that way. The hip's going the other way. Now, see how you're letting yourself get broken into pieces? Yeah. When you came in from the car, did you do this? No, you did this. This is natural. This is more like, how do you know he's the king? And never mind. This is generational. I tell this now, and the old guys all laugh their asses off, and I look at it, and all these young guys are going, I'm sorry, it makes me feel really old.
I got it.
Good. So if this was strong for you, move the whole thing. And if it starts to tilt, fine, let it tilt. If I'm in, I have it. See, this is actually still integrated. The whole thing's tilting. And then finally, when it goes past a certain point, you take your roll. Just let your roll happen. Okay? But if you break yourself into pieces trying not to go, right here, I can't do a darn thing to you. I might stop the movement you're doing, but I just gave up everything else because I disintegrated myself. If I was going to do something, if you pulled, I'd step in and hit. Right. That's why I have to fill that space here. Now if you go to hit me, you're going to take in the chops because I own that space. Okay? That's the Irimi Tenkan. Entering, turning. That's what the thing means, entering, turning. This isn't going away from him necessarily. I could if he was really charging. I would just step back. But right now, this is like the yin and yang going around each other. He's coming this way, and I rotate this way, and then we let the whole thing tilt, and now take your fall. There you go. There's not a lot of impact if we can get rid of the tension. Tension's what gets you injured and beat up. Old before your time. That makes sense? Okay, good. What happens to your concentration? Okay. So, what's the footwork? See, that's much more. Okay? So, now you can actually tell me it's a Irimi Tenkan, and yet I look around and I'm still seeing step back, I'm still seeing no turn at all. So, if you know what it's supposed to be, but then you are not doing it, what's that? He said practice. Yeah, bad practice, because you're just repeating the wrong thing over and over again. Okay? It's like when you don't know what you're supposed to do, that's the teacher's problem. When you do know what you're supposed to do and you're still not doing it, that is not the teacher's problem. That is your problem. You knew what you're supposed to do and you didn't concentrate hard enough to keep your mind on the ball. Or, in fact, you let yourself get distracted by something else. So you're so busy thinking, what about what happens here? Or being scared of that, you forgot to move your feet. But the foot movement's the most important thing. That's why I said look at it first. Okay? So, I'm really sorry, but you have to be able to do two things at once. You have to be able to concentrate on your feet and move the hands at the same time. And if one disappears when you think about the other, you're really hosed. Okay? But some of this is just concentrating. You know, it's just... Saotome Sensei is actually fairly nice. When he yells at everybody, he usually yells at the group. He almost never singles out an individual. Okay? Chiba Sensei. he'd tell you once nicely. And if, he'd go around and say, put your foot there. Then he'd wander around the room. If he came back and your foot was back in the other place, he screamed at you. I mean, it's like, you did not want to be the guy who made the same mistake twice with Chiba. We were at an EI workshop with him, a class, and I had a guy who was a new kid, brand spanking new, next to me. And Chiba, we did the draw. Okay. Chiba came over and corrected his foot position. Then he went around the room. The kid did a few more draws. His foot went back to where it had been. And Chiba came, and Chiba started screaming, I told you where to put that foot! But he's screaming at the kid. The kid, his eyes were like this, and his sword was shaking up and down. He was so scared. Okay? So you don't want to actually indulge because the teacher's nice. Concentrate. Okay? Once you know how to do it, what's the excuse you have for not doing it? Well, there isn't really. I mean, there actually are there's bunches of reasons for it. Okay? There's all sorts of reasons for it. You're not alone. This happens all the time. It's just a question of understanding why. Okay? It's like sometimes it's because you have a tough time thinking about two things at once. So the moment you think about where your feet are going, the hands are not doing. And then, when you start thinking about the hands, the feet just stop moving. And some of that's concentration. That's why I said the third thing you looked at was the relative timing. So instead of thinking about just the feet, because then the hands don't do it, or think about on the step the hand came up, on the turn the hand was already up. So you start trying to think about what allows you to move both of them together. This is a process for getting at it. Okay? There's all sorts of other reasons. But concentration's a big one. If you don't concentrate when you're trying to reprogram yourself from some old habit, you're going to go into an old habit instantly. So if you come from a place where they do lots of static stuff and not a lot of movement stuff, the moment you're not thinking about those feet, they're going to go back to here. I'm moving. I'm turning. Okay? Then when I do it, this is rotating. By the time I get here, it's a done deal. Okay? So, little more and concentrate, but don't allow that concentration to reflect in physical tension. That's another one. You get people, and as soon as they start concentrating, they get tense. We need to disassociate that. Mental intensity does not mean that you should have physical tension. Mental intensity is just that. Focus, connection. He should look at me and see somebody who's about to explode out. Not, okay? But a lot of people have this association. Your training should disassociate this. Mental focus and concentration, physical relaxation. Okay? Okay? So when you're stiff like that, if you go to the outside, this is a grip replacement. There's not wrong. It's just different. I'm actually staying on the inside. If I wanted a lock, I'd go to the outside. But if I just want to make you move because I'm going to strike you if you don't, I want to stay on the inside. Because if I'm on the outside, you can let go and I can't hit you. So I want to be in here going, this is why you don't let go. Because you know that you let go when they're on the inside like that. You're totally hosed. If I do this, I never make a space for you. Okay? But if I open up here, look where your energy's gone.
Yeah, it's all
I haven't even gone back yet, and you're still kicking out. So really open up, and then this runs the other way. A lot in your social life, okay? My wife and I like to go dancing, and if you look at the ladies' dance, this is a movable part for most women. And most guys, they dance like a bunch of white boys. This is like not a movable part. Well, if your Aikido still looks like that, you have a problem. Because what's letting his energy, this energy, where is it going? If you're staying square like this and your hips don't move, you're trying to bring them, but there's no space for him because his energy is trying to go to my center, and I'm in the way. If I get out of the way here with my hips, I didn't do a thing, and see how his energy's shooting past me? I got to open these hips up. Sometimes you can do it with no step. If you have alive hips, I didn't even move the feet on. That was all hip. We're not doing that right now. I'm trying to do something bigger and flowier. Not basically because a lot of you don't like to move your feet very much, okay? But see how the hips get out of the way? His energy is coming right to my center. If this back hip vacates, look what happened. I just sucked him in. So if he's going that way and I'm going that way, then there's a neutral rotation on his body. So this becomes effortless. Grab the finger. Touch, release with the hip, in with the body. So the hip vacates, but the energy extension is going that way. So if you look, his energy kicks out because I got out of the way and I let him come into the space. At the same time, I'm entering high and he rotates on his center. Then I drop on top of him. That takes that much effort. He's already gone. Then I can just drop. So I'm doing it with more footwork right now. But I'm really letting out of the way. That's why I was saying before when I was doing it with the other gentleman, there, you were trying to pull me around. I don't pull. I'm actually extending here and vacating here. So this is always going in, but this is going back. If the energy of the back, the draw, is balanced with the energy of the in, then the contact point's neutral. I don't care how strong he is, there's no actual power right at the contact point because that and that were in balance. So all I did was rotate him. Didn't push him or pull him. I rotated him. Then I drop on top of him. He's hosed. Okay? Does that make sense? So see if you can get, when we're talking about the relative timing on this, a lot of people want to go 1, 2, 3. Don't separate them. When I'm turning, this is rising. By the time I finished my turn, everything's up. Okay? So he comes up. He's already up. So that by the time I finish that turn, I'm ready to start dropping. Okay? Whereas a lot of guys draw him right in on top of them, then stop, and now you've got to do this static. It literally is like you did all this movement and then drew him into a static technique. I want this rotating at the same time. Okay? Does that make sense? So a little more.